Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to episode 2 of the RLCraft series. Now, since I recorded so much footage for this episode, I decided I would do a voiceover. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comment section below. Anyways, let's move on to the episode. Now, one thing to say is between episodes, I made myself a bunch of bandages. I also cooked some potatoes and also got myself a powerful bow, all from the chests below deck. I then made myself an iron saber and an iron canteen, got a recall potion at the ready, and also an iron plated shield. I also made some redstone blocks and also a hard tool belt so I could store my tools, and also 2 potion rings. Thankfully, the second potion ring was healthy and half-hearted. This means it gave me extra health, and in a game like this, health is extremely essential. I then decided before my journey began I would take a compass, a piece of leather, and an ink sac, and also take some oak logs which I would then turn into charcoal so I can make charcoal filters, which I didn't use. I then decided the first part of my journey would be the pirate ship. Knowing that I needed XP to do anything in this game, I decided the pirate ship would be an excellent way to obtain it easily. Upon arrival at the ship, I realized there was glass in the floor, and below that glass was spawners. I then decided to carefully destroy these spawners, knowing that the XP from them would be very essential in my playthrough. I then proceeded to sleep atop the sails. That way I could actually stay a great distance away from the zombies. But I then unfortunately lost my sleeping bag and got shot by a stupid skeleton. I then decided to ignore the skeleton and make my way back into the ship to continue the looting. I then decided to make my way into the ship and break the spawners to collect XP, which I then used to level up mining to level 8. I then also decided to shoot a stupid blight that was out of the corner of my eye. Being the big-headed idiot that I am, I actually landed the shot and got it aggressive. I then decided to cowardly but bravely make my way back into the ship and cower. I soon realized I was trapped on this boat by the blight, knowing that if I tried to make an escape attempt, it would soon catch up to me and destroy me in an instant. I then decided that the best course of action would be to figure out an escape route, or I would soon die. I contemplated whether or not I should recall a potion home, but then decided against it, knowing that there is much more loot to be found in this ship. So I then decided I would use my 2 brain cells and 8 oak planks to block up the entrances by the ladders. That way when I descend into the lower deck, it would be safely secure for me for when I try and take out the mobs. Upon arrival on the lower deck, I got greeted by a couple skeletons and a zombie. Thankfully, I was able to swiftly take out these creatures using my brain cells and my iron gear. After killing them, I decided the best course of action would be to break the spawner before it created any more problems for me. Upon breaking it, I was greeted by a baby geist, block of water, and a skeleton. This concerned me, but thankfully it wasn't too much of an issue, so I decided to block up the water so it wouldn't cause an issue, collect the loot, and kill the zombies inside, use the XP to level up my skills, and also come up with a genius plan. First thing was to make a boat, which I would use to escape. I then decided to head to the top of the ship so I could get a head start. Little did people know that if you sail in the air with a boat, you start to glide. So I decided to test this out and get a recall potion at the ready in case if I did get caught. I then proceeded to escape swiftly. Thankfully, the blight did not spot me, but I spotted it, realizing how weak I was in this world. Anyways, when I got to shore, I decided the best course of action would be to seek shelter for the night. I then made my way over to this dungeon I looted earlier on and decided to collect the string, knowing that if I did so, I could potentially make enough wool to make a sleeping bag. Sadly, there was not enough string to do so. I then decided with the blights out and about, the best course of action would be to collect some blocks from the shelter itself and block myself up for the night and wait till morning. But while waiting, I decided to kill this spider who had came too close and it dropped a crossbow upon death. I grabbed the crossbow and inspected it, but realized that it was worthless. So I then put my two brain cells together to make an idea that would be called Cobblestone Collection until morning. When morning had finally arrived, I decided to collect the torches from the bunker, get to the shore on my horse and collect some leather, and then use my boat and make a grand escape from the land. On my journey, I came across a castle on the water. I then decided to loot it, knowing that it would have semi-useful items. Unfortunately, the only things that I found useful was a replacement stone pick, a couple oak planks, and some pieces of bread. I then decided to collect the wheat, knowing that it would drop XP, which I then used to level up magic. I then got back into my boat and continued my journey out on the open sea. While on my journey, I came across a battle tower that I had not looted at all, so I decided I would make a pit stop, make a hidey hole inside of it, and loot the entire thing. Thankfully, the loot here was incredibly useful. Now, while I am looting this, I would like to ask you guys to please subscribe to my channel. I am incredibly new to YouTube. This is only my second video that I've made, so it would be much appreciated if you guys could please support me. That's all I'm asking. You don't have to, but anyways, let's get back to the video. Upon looting this chest, I decided I would take the bookshelves and then block it up, but unfortunately, I was an idiot and got killed. Thankfully, though, I quickly made a boat and made my way back over to the battle tower. Thankfully, I was able to recover everything that I had lost, and I decided to continue raiding the battle tower. I decided to make a hopper for the top two chests, knowing that if I tried to open them without it, the golems would get mad. I then proceeded to collect all the loot from the chests using the hopper, and decided to make a sleeping bag, which I unfortunately lost. Again. I then decided to collect the rest of the loot from the top two chests, which included glowing ingots and a diamond legging piece, which is incredibly good, but unfortunately I got attacked by a couple of jinns and had to start my quest all over again for the top chest. Thankfully I made it back quickly and collected all the loot from the top chest, and then decided to make a grand escape using the same strategy from the boat. I then decided to check this mega battle tower out later on, taking note of where it was on the atlas. I then decided to head to shore, knowing that I would have a lot of time, but not enough. What? Anyways, I collected my boat, sorted my loot from the battle tower, which was very difficult, considering how much there was. I decided to collect some birchwood as well, and continue my journey. I decided to check out this port-like structure, knowing it would have sufficient loot. Checking the first chest, I found a balloon, an advanced protection 2 book, a piece of bread, and some horse armor. Unfortunately, the rest of the loot in the ship wasn't as sufficient. I then decided to take my anger out on this second battle tower which I came across, and decided to use the same looting strategy as before. Oh no. I then was happy with the loot that I had gotten from it and decided to make my way home, right before or after I slept. I made a grand escape and decided to head home. Unfortunately, though, while I was on my way home, a blood moon started to rise. I thought the best course of action would be to use a recall potion and head home, but this was a great error in my judgment. While waiting the night out, I decided to use the 2 heart crystals which I had gotten, and decided I would also sort all the loot from my chests to pass the time until morning. Annoyed by how loud the creatures were during the night, I decided to turn my volume off because I was about to break my monitor from all the noises. When I saw the sun rise, I decided to make myself a strength ring, knowing how useful this would be, because strength in this game is incredibly important. I decided that I would also turn the volume back up, because I would actually like to hear what is going on in my game and see if I could hear a dragon's wings in the distance. Come morning time, I decided to investigate the ship and noticed that it was in shambles. The unfortunately timed blood moon had completely destroyed the sails of my poor ship. I then decided to check any and every cranny and space inside the ship, including the lower two decks, to see if there's any loot or surviving creatures. But that is all for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.